Hello everyone, here are the top 5 best ways to make gil in my opinion. Now, I've not counted the crazy things like running 100 FCs because no one else is this crazy. Well, there are few people, but you can count us with one hand. But this is just for your normal player that just logs in the game every day for a couple hours, basically. It has to work for the average person. Alright, so number 5, I would say it would be doing maps. Maps are extremely good, especially when you get lucky. Now, the reason I've ranked it as 5, it's because it requires a full party to be fully effective, and that may be not always an option, especially if you only want to run them with people that you know. So you may not always have people ready to run them. That's why I ranked it 5. But if you do have a static or some kind of FC group that always doing maps, 8 people, then this could easily go up really high in the list to even number 2 or so. So maps are really good, and I highly recommend it if you have active FC or if you have friends you are playing with actively. Makes you really good gil, especially when maps are new mounts and stuff come out. That's when it's really hot. You can make like 20 million in just one night if you run it for a few hours and get a bit lucky. Number 4, I've shown this many times throughout Endwalker and even back in Shadowbringers when they were even better than they are now. And that is basically leaf quests. Specifically, there are 2 different leaf quests that are really good for making gil. The Endwalker version, I will link it in the video description. I showed it in detail in my beginner's guide, level 1 to 90. So I'll just link you that section of the guide in the video description. But if you do have alts that just started Shadowbringers main scenario, like you don't even need to go far into Shadowbringers, just the first few main scenario quests into Shadowbringers, you can start doing this. You basically need to reach Ilmor, this way you can get the materials with White Gatherer scripts, and you're good to go. So just like 1 hour or so into Shadowbringers, you can start doing this. And that is the level 78 leaf quest. Sorry, I need to change to Alchemist. And the item you need to hand in is the Tincture of Vitality. The materials are really easy. Underground Spring is Minor Retainer. Hydrozone Umbrella is Battle Retainer. Lime Basil is Botanist Retainer. And Aether Sands you can exchange. It only costs like 5 White Gatherer scripts. So if you go to Gatherer scripts, exchange materials, here they are. Sorry, it costs 10 white scripts each. Really cheap. And it's just 3 steps to HQ them. You do Trained Eye and 2 Groundworks, that's it. And each of these crafts will make you 9 to 10k gil. 9.5k in average, and really good. So you have 100 allowances each 17 days, and each allowance makes you nearly 10k. 9 to 10k. There it is. The leaf quest is called Labor of Love. Easy peasy. So this averages out to 9.5, well, basically nearly a million for the 100 allowances, and it takes 17 days to recharge all the 100 allowances. The Endwalker version gets you a million in average, but it's way more like you have to macro the crafts. I don't need to go in detail here. As I said, I went into detail in my beginner's guide, which I'll link that section of the guide in the video description. Number 3 best way to make gil would be anything that has to do on building submarines and housing walls. I went into more detail in a guide that I made that was called Making Gil from Low-Level Materials, where I went into more detail. But anything that has to do with housing walls and submarines sell really well. And you can use Teamcraft to get a list of materials that you need for each component and each housing wall. And you can from there just see on the market board. And the good thing about this method is that you don't even need to be a level 90 crafter. Most of it don't even need level 70, and you can make a lot of gil just selling stuff that people need for submarines and building submarine components, basically. Number 2 best way to make gil would be master recipes. The latest battle gear, item level 610, and as well as the indicator crafter and gatherer pieces. Now this kind of depends on how cheap or expensive the tombstone materials are, but now we can also get these materials from Quick Ventures, so they shouldn't be that expensive anymore. 186, 174, let's see the sell history. Yeah, it does sell quite often too still. Yeah, the battle stuff, even the weapons surprisingly are selling. The books are not as good. But yeah, you get the point. If you have tombstone materials laying around, definitely make use of them. These are actually surprisingly good. Battle gear have not been this high this late into the patch, honestly. Before. I think it's because the relics now need tombstone materials, so this made it so these are a bit high now, which is good. Obviously, I have guides and macros how to easily craft these, so check my crafting macros playlist on my or on my webpage. And number 1 best way to make gil has been the same throughout the entire Endwalker so far, and that is to sell materia, not right now, but when new battle gear comes out. You sell crafter and gatherer materia when new savage tier and battle gear comes out, because many people are on a break from the game, and when they come back they are not melded, they cannot gather the new materials to craft the new battle gear, and therefore materia goes skyrocket, like tenfold price. So I highly recommend that you just farm materia like crazy. Crafter and gatherer materia. Already start farming now. You have, as of right now I'm recording the video, there is still at least 3 months left until we get patch 6.4. Hoard all your materia right now and don't sell any of them. And when 6.4 launches, oh boy, you're gonna make millions. Last patch, not last patch, but last Savage patch, I mean, which was 6.2, I had materia selling for 50k, grade 10 crafted and gathered materia. I made like easy 60 million just from selling materia, day 1. So highly recommend. This is number 1 easily, without any doubt or hesitation. Just farm materia like crazy. I also have a materia farming for gatherer and crafter, which I'll link in the video description. I made them at the beginning of Endwalker, but they're still more than relevant. It's the same method, I haven't changed. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you found it helpful, and if you ended up making gil, really consider supporting the channel. Or if you want to just support for free, give the video a like. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next guide. Take care. Bye bye.